Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. His name is Jimmy the Bag. This is Loshak in the Bag show for Wednesday morning, April 25th. I did take a day off yesterday. I have a few questions. First of all, Jim, how did you do yesterday in your official picks?
I haven't gone over all the numbers yet, but not very well. Only
Really?
because I lost the double up on the Dodgers game.
That's so much.
I lost
That's so
both
much.
sides. Speaking of me losing both sides, then I added the Warriors team total over late, and they hit 5 3-pointers in their game. So that was, but it was looking good up until then.
Yeah.
And but we do, and thank God you're back.
No, really?
What a relief!
Really?
My God, I want to have fun here.
Because I was thinking that this was like, you remember when John Wall went out for Washington, and everyone's like, so John Wall's out. How are things going with the team? And everyone's like, oh, it's so great. You have no idea. It's so great. We're playing so well. The chemistry is so great. And that's what I was thinking. I thought I was going to come back here and be like, so, Johan and Jim, like, how was everything like when I was out for a day? And I was pretty sure you guys were going to say it was awesome. Oh my God, the show was so good. The flow was just good finally. You know what I mean? The analysis was as good as ever, except without the bad parts. Oh, it was awesome.
No, it wasn't fun at all. It's just too much for one guy. I don't like it much. I'm so thankful you're back. I'm also representing rocking a Loshak show right now, and but we do have a couple Geniuses awards to give out.
Oh,
I want to
really?
give them out right off the top. Now that I remember, my God, the guy who is my biggest hater, my biggest hater, Kobe Valentine, picked the exact score.
Really?
Of the Marlins-Dodgers game and took the Marlins.
No way. Really? I didn't
3-2.
even like look at what happened yesterday. What happened yesterday with the Marlins?
With Dylan Peters on the mound.
Right.
Who I thought was going to get touched. Did not get touched. Dodgers still can't hit lefties, even if they're the worst lefties in the league. And he picked the exact score, 3-2.
Wow.
And not only that,
Wow.
Richard West, when everybody was taking Braves, again, took the Reds -1.5. Second time in a row for a huge score. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to Kobe Valentine and Richard West for excellent capping. Brandon Biaggi says, Jimmy, you did great yesterday. I just in the end losing the double. I've got to crunch my numbers. I just capped all morning, but I think losing the double and the Warriors team total over. But I hit the Celtics. I also added in. You saw the Celtics for the series.
You mean during this? Wait. What do you mean?
I took the Celtics to win the series yesterday at -135.
Oh, okay. But didn't you also take them in the beginning of the series?
I thought that was something I only bet.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't sure. I'm not sure, but I added another one if I did at -135. It was -120 in the morning. By the time I had the confidence, because I was afraid Dan Kelly was on the Bucks money line first half and full game, and that scared me. Although I still had hit the big win with the Celtics -3, and Bobano is going to have to send me $100 unless the Bucks win 2 straight games. And I told Bobano and I told all my friends.
Very, very nice.
I'm spend that money all week.
I'm just looking at the game. I didn't check what happened. I just took yesterday completely off. I would have had the Yankees over Barrios, but I would have vaguely agreed with you. I mean, Peters in general is a guy who I have pegged as a guy who tends to do well at home and on the road struggles a lot more. So I would have thought that he would have struggled. I don't think I would have taken the Dodgers at -260 or whatever, but I definitely would have been agreeing with you.
I just took the over 7.5 and the Dodgers team total over.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Jimmy the Bag. Okay, yeah, I was definitely looking at fading Barrios because it was the start after the Puerto Rico start.
And people
right?
mentioned that, and I was on the wrong side because I thought Yankee Stadium. I mean, that's not like going from fucking I don't know, Puerto Rico to the Rogers Center. You know, it's still a big, exciting place to play in the Bronx.
Yeah, I hear you, Jimmy. No, it definitely is. It definitely is. But it's just like it was definitely a step down in terms of the intensity. You know what I'm saying?
Not applicable. You're right. You're absolutely right. It was a mistake I made. Not applicable. Richard West, I hope you heard the shout out that I just gave you. And not applicable says, Pete, the show kind of sucked yesterday.
Oh, thank
Jimmy
God.
spent the first half hour weeping.
Yeah. Oh, great.
You were there sucking his thumb rolled into a ball.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, the shows that you were gone, people said, great job, Pete, but they also said, this show kind of sucks. And I was like, okay, all right, great. I mean, they said good job. They said good job, Pete. They were also like, this show kind of sucks. And I was just hoping that people would say that the show, yes, the exact same. I was hoping that people would say, good show, Jimmy. Good job, Jimmy. But this show kind of sucked. I'm just hoping that that's what they said.
Oh, man. David Hutton put it perfectly. He said, Pete's back. Jimmy was good yesterday, but it was like a peanut and jelly sandwich without the jelly.
Which can still be good, though. Which can still be good.
It can be okay
all
for
right.
a day.
Well, thanks to all the positive comments from Jimmy the Bag here. Give me a high five,
you,
Jimmy.
So
Oh,
happy
thank
that
you
you're back.
so much. You know I need that. All right. Okay.
Joseph Tucker's right. He says Jimmy Yanks are starting to heat up. Also, Joseph Tucker was at the game 2 days ago. Gave us a shout out live
awesome.
In the Bronx. Also, it's the 2 days in a row I faded the Yankees. I only faded them first 5 yesterday, but I've got to stop doing that.
Here you go. Rad Dre says 77 4-Pete, greatest 1 hour and I spend on YouTube ever. Thank you so much, Rad Ray. Thank you so much, Rad Ray. Okay. All right. How about you want to get into shit, Jimmy the Bag?
I do.
Any other stuff you want to say? Any other stuff you want to say before we get into
just
this
that
shit?
It was not easy. It was not easy doing it solo, but it was the chat that, as always, lifts us up and feeds us gold nonstop. So I'm looking forward to keep the winners rolling.
Very, 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 very nice. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's see. Let's jump into MLB. Jimmy the Bag, I only looked in depth into the games for the day games. We have about 6 or 7 day games going tonight. There's a couple of night games that are going that are very interesting. I don't know if you looked at them, but Matt's going against St. Louis. I'm going to have to look into that one in the afternoon more deeply. And Oakland against Texas. We're usually looking to play on Oakland right now, especially in hitters' parks. So we'll see what you have to say about that. Then, of course, we have Kershaw as a massive favorite there against Miami once again. And an interesting matchup, Cleveland and Chicago. I kind of want to take the under on that one, but I don't know. I'm going to have to look into that one more deeply as well.
I'm on the under.
Are you really?
I got up very, very early, and not out of anger. I was, I just was pumped. So I've capped every single game fully and totally.
Okay, well, let's start with that one then. The Cleveland Chicago game. Why do you like the under on this one, Jim?
I had there's guys that I cap with who are on the over, and that was concerning. And I didn't really get a chance to exactly explain why I was on the under fully because I had to get to work as soon as possible. Let me get to my Cubs, Lester Bauer. First point is that it's going to be 44 Fahrenheit with the wind blowing in strongly. The Cubs are hitting well. They're hitting 264 and 793 OPS, and just the man to stop this great hitting team. I also want to make a bet. Tomor told us yesterday during the show to take the Cubs to win the division at -125. I did that. I put $300 on the Cubs to win the division at -125. I would like to add that in as an official pick here on the show.
Okay.
I think Trevor Bauer is just the guy to stop this Cubs offense that's hitting so well. We don't know if Bryant will be back in the lineup. Bauer's looked very good this year.
Yes.
2.67 ERA, 1.11 whip through 27 innings, 27 Ks. Indians can't hit lefties. They're hitting 216 with a 614 OPS through 194 at-bats against them. And Lester is pitching well.
Yeah.
Cubs have won 4 of their last 5. Cubs are playing good baseball. I just think it's cold, winds blowing in, 2 great pitchers, and I'm taking the under 7.5.
All right, I'll take that one with you as well, Jim. If I look into it more deeply and decide that I don't want it, I will pull it. But that's what I was thinking about. And you can take 7.5 at -102, but I'm going to take 8 -125 at Bet Online. Which would you like?
Yes,
Which would you like?
8.
You sure? All right.
Wow, thank you.
All right, we're
Bet
both going to
Online.
take 8 -125. Jim's going to take Cleveland under 8. -125. Actually, probably based on the value, because 7.5 to 8 is not worth that much. It's probably slightly more value on 7.5 -102. But I'm going to take 8 -125 here, and that's what you want as well, right, Jim?
Yes, that is what I want. That's wonderful.
All right, we'll both take that one, and hopefully we do okay with that one. All right, from the day games, let's see what is interesting. Well, let's talk about San Diego, Colorado. Jim, you've been I assume you did the Colorado fade yesterday, which I saw lost, right?
I lost 8-0, but that's going to happen.
Sure, of course. So now we have Gray against Ross. Gray's been getting pounded. Ross has actually been okay, but my sense is that coming off the good start at Arizona, this is a down spot for Ross. Thinking vaguely about the over here, thinking about a first 5 over. Not exactly sure what to expect from Gray. Is Gray going to be better here or not? And the Rockies have bad numbers against righties. Now, that might improve significantly in the future, but so far this year, they have not done well against righties. My sense is, though, it's a down spot for Ross, and my sense is that Gray probably continues to struggle a little bit, although he could improve at any time. This is a tricky handicapping situation, Jim.
I agree. I'm not sure when Gray's going to turn it on, but
he will. Yeah, right.
He will at some point.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been completely wrong about Tyson Ross. And I think it was part of the thoracic outlet syndrome that he dealt with, watching Harvey handle it so poorly. Now, I think Harvey's a man of questionable character. All over Wheeler because he's not, because Wheeler's replaced him in the starting lineup. And then I shouldn't just compare everybody dealing with this injury to Harvey, whom I dislike. Tyson Ross has been excellent so far this year. You're right. Possible letdown spot. Flirted with a no-hitter in his last start versus the Padres. He's pitched at least 6 innings in 4 starts this year. He threw 127 pitches to Arizona, hitless for 7 2/3. That's in Arizona with a great offense there. I'm impressed. And I don't need to spend too much time breaking this game down because I'm blindly taking the Coors Field fade.
Wow. All right.
-1.5.
Well, we know that you're going to get a better line at Bet365, but why don't you check it anyway, quote it, and I'm going to check what Pinnacle has right now just to highlight once again how important line shopping is no matter what you're betting, no matter what your bet size is, no matter who you are, no matter where you are on the totem pole. Jimmy the Bag, what are you getting there at Bet365?
Well, I sent it in this morning about an hour ago.
Okay, well, we're going to have to give you whatever it is.
Oh, of course. I'm just comparing it. I got plus
Let's
250. Let's see what I will get now.
Where is it? At Pinnacle right now, it's 227.
Yes, -1.5 plus 250. Still.
All right, so Jim's going to get run line plus 250. Right now, it's plus 227 at Pinnacle, and I should really just be going on this one with you as well. How much were it? Like 9 units now on the
it was 9. Now we're just a little over 8.
Yeah. But still, I would be. I'm down 7 units despite a winning day on Monday, and now I would be up if I had been doing this with you. Maybe I will. Let me just think about this for a little bit more. And I was thinking about taking San Diego on the second half, although Hosmer's out for San Diego. How bad is that for you, Jim?
That's bad. It's really bad. The offense desperately needs Hosmer in the lineup, so it's bad. It's no question it's bad.
Yeah.
But this is a blind play, and Kobe Valentine, who correctly picked the score of the Marlins.
Yes, like 5-3 Padres.
Like the sounds of that.
Okay, Dom Ricci says Gray has had work to slow down his slider at 93 miles per hour. It wasn't breaking. They say it was a successful workout. I'm leaning with Gray. Yeah, I mean, you know that Gray is going to turn it around probably in a major way at some point, probably relatively soon. It just will happen this game or not.
My man Rojo Flo, Pods first 5 money line and first 5 under 5.5. So he is expecting a nice pitching performance from Gray.
Yeah. All right, so let's see what else we have. Well, Seattle against White Sox. You want to talk about that one, 2 o'clock Eastern time, Jim?
Yes.
All right, Felix Hernandez has been doing not too shabby, actually, overall on the year. Not too shabby. James Shields, not too great overall on the year. In general, I like Seattle more than the White Sox. Do we like Seattle here even as a pretty decent-sized road favorite?
It's just too big of a favorite. To be honest with you, I've not really liked what I've seen from Hernandez, 5.06 ERA, but he does have a low whip.
Yeah.
So you're right, 1.24 whip. I just, to be honest with you, and maybe this is, I'm from the Northwest. I've watched Felix when he was the best pitcher in the league. I don't think James Shields is that much worse than him. And I really don't. I mean, they're both aging veterans on the downward swing of their career. And I just don't think the Mariners, as this big of a favorite, is worth it.
Oh, sorry. What'd you say? Oh, sure. No problem. Is that blocking something? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Sure. No problem.
Everybody's asking about it.
Yes, absolutely.
Everybody's talking about it.
I apologize that. Yeah, this is caramel flavored lean. Caramel flavored lean with a little bit of Courvoisier and prune juice, of course.
Chris Kopech says, I love Felix the King. And Robert Balla. Robert Balla says, fade Felix on the road. Chris Kopech says, only take Seattle if you're going to parlay it. I'm not going to take the White Sox here, but I'm not going to take the Mariners as such a big favorite. I'm also, with the wind blowing so strong across the diamond, like it's really strong wind across the diamond, that I'm not even, they might both pitch okay. I'm just going to stay off this game completely. Yeah,
I was thinking about taking a Seattle on the second half here, which would be -150. That's a little bit too steep for what I want to do. All right, let's move on to another game that's interesting. Let's see what else is interesting. Well, let's look at Minnesota Yankees. Right, Yankees have been killing it. Obviously, game in and game out. Gray against Lynn. Both these pitchers not great shakes, but it seems like the Yankees are the kind of team now where it doesn't really matter who the pitchers are, as long as maybe they're not going up against a Kluber or someone like that. They're a threat to put up, 10 runs in any given spot. What do you think about this one? Minnesota Yankees, Gray against Lynn.
I don't trust Sonny Gray at all.
Me neither.
But I don't know if Lance Lynn should be given any support from my wallet, and but it's just been a mistake fading this team at home. And but quickly, Jarvis Wilson just asking me if I trust Trevor Bauer to go under, and basically, I am concerned about how hot the Cubs bats are, and I'm a little concerned about that. But hearing Pete want to go with it, me too, gives me a lot of confidence. In this Yanks game, the only play I thought maybe taking was the over, but even that is shot up. Is that only 9.5s on the board?
Let me see the over right now. The total right now is Minnesota Yankees. It's actually there's some 9s though. Actually, there's some 9s. Yeah, 9.5 or 9.
That would maybe be appealing. Maybe the first 5 appealing.
That's what I was thinking about. Let me see where the first 5 line would be. If we're seeing a 4.5 here, show me a 4.5. Oh, wow. Wait. Oh, no, sorry. That's yesterday. Let me see. Minnesota Yankees, no 4.5s, just 5s. Yeah, just 5s.
Gate Pass Key says Yanks will touch Lynn. Easy run line on Yanks. Top Shelf Sniper says Yanks team total over at home. Searcy took Yankees run line.
Feels like one of these starting pitchers will get hit pretty decently. Feels like the first 5 innings should be an okay play.
I think so, and it's 5.
5 at Pinnacle right now. Best line would be 5. Let me see, -123. Yeah, that's about in line with where everyone else has it. Where is this one? 123.
Cold,
yeah, let me see.
Earlier
Minnesota
game,
Yankees.
wind blowing in.
-120 at Heritage would be the best line.
Max, my man Max is on the Yankees team total over. I don't. I would rather have both offenses here than just picking one team total. Not that the Twins have such a great offense, but just, Minnesota's been outscored 40-18 during this 5-game losing streak, and they're just not batting. They're hitting .217. They're getting out homered 14-4. And Gregorius is having the best month of a shortstop in the history of the sport.
Yeah. Yes, he sure is.
So it's I don't know what to do at this point. Now, when time's this game start?
Well, I'm definitely going to take the Yankees on the second half, -130. I like the Yankees lineup. I like the Yankees bullpen. And I'm going to take the Yankees second half at -130. Although I should probably just take them on the full game if I'm going to do that at -165 at Bet Online. But I'm going to take the Yankees on the second half, -130. This game starts at 6:30, so we can revisit it, of course, in the 6 o'clock show,
I prefer
Jim.
to revisit it.
You prefer to revisit the game.
Yeah, they're saying Hal's coming in saying there's major rain in New York all day long. I think I'm just gonna take a little time with this.
Okay. All right. We will hold off, but on that one, I'm going to take the Yankees on the second half, -130. Definitely leaning the first half over, and definitely leaning Yankees on the full game as well at -165. But I guess I will hold off on that one. Then let's talk about Atlanta-Cincinnati. I'm seeing that one right below that one with the Yankees game. Whistler against Finnegan, and Finnegan has had 2 starts against St. Louis. He's gotten it. Now, he's one of these crafty lefties who is going to be vulnerable more often than not, but once in a while will show up with a 7-inning, 1-run type start. That could happen at any given time. Feels like he's going to be vulnerable. Whistler, great start in his first start back. Of course, he's going to regress going forward. But my sense is that this line, Cincinnati got a couple wins in a row, but they are not a good team. Why would we not like Atlanta here, Jim?
We do.
We do?
We do like Atlanta because we love what Whistler's done. Now, when I was talking about him, I forgot that it wasn't last year that he was the prospect. He only had 1 start last year. It was 2 years ago when he was one of the top prospects in this organization. And I love the fact that he stepped up like this. Sort of like Porcello stepping up after a terrible year last year. One guy's getting $20 million a year and the other guy's not. But Snicker said, this is the best I've ever seen Whistler. He's attacking. I love the way, and you got to know he's feeling so good. This might be a situation where he was taking for granted the situation he was in last 2 or 3 years, or 2 or 3 years ago, and now he's respecting what an opportunity he has.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I'm going to fade Finnegan, no problem there. 11.05 ERA, 2.59 WHIP. Until he starts pitching better, I'm not going to trust him. And the Braves are hitting 289 with an 876 OPS versus lefties this year through 149 at bats. I know that's a small sample size, but that's enormously successful.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm on the Braves, full game.
All right, let me see. The Braves and the Reds here. Okay, so you're going to take the Braves here. Hold on one second. So you're going to take them on the money line, huh?
Yes.
Okay, the best line would be +100. You're going to take them at Atlanta money line +100. I'm actually going to take them on the -1 line. I'm going to take them on the -1 line. And could you check Bet Online, because I'm sure I'll get a better line here than for the alternative run line.
Or Bet 365 or Bet Online?
Bet 365. Sorry, Bet 365. I'm checking right now. Atlanta bet. Let's see. Shit. Pinnacle has a +1.5. So let me just check the run lines here. Atlanta. Sorry, I'm going down here. Checking. Where the hell is that one? Okay, yeah, all right. So I'm seeing about plus 155 at the Greek then. Oh, and bet 365 as 155. So okay, so it's not alternative run line yet. All right, I'm gonna take Atlanta -1, the money line plus 100, the alternative run line plus 155, and I'm also gonna take Atlanta on the second half -125. I know Atlanta bullpen.
Oh wow, they're not giving it.
Well, it's because the actual because it's the actual run line. Not
Oh,
the,
of course, because they're the underdog. What am I talking about?
All right, so so I'm taking them on the -1 line, plus 100 on the money line, and plus 155 on the alternative run line, and I'm also going to take Atlanta on the second half -125. Atlanta's bullpen, I'm down on them. I'm also almost as down on them on the Reds bullpen though as I am on Atlanta. So I'm down on both these bullpens. The second half over might be a nice play here, Jim. Let me just see what that one is. And what comments coming in, Jim?
Yeah, Rojo Flo likes Atlanta team total over cash action bets like Reds for the sweep. Steiner Recliner says you guys are the greatest. Just started following. Pete enjoyed you in Magnum PI. Love the insight. Thoughts on Bruins covering the puck line? We'll hammer that tonight.
Shit.
And then Diddy on Sports Machine says it's good to see Bag doing good. He remembers when I was trying to come down to the office, staying night by night in the hostel. So yes, things have improved, Didion.
Shout out to Steiner Recliner. You guys are the greatest. Thank you so much. Stay strong in these tough times, Steiner Recliner and everyone else.
And Richard West says Atlanta getting swept. Richard West,
wow,
incredible work with the Reds the last 2 days.
Really,
and we gave him a shout out. A big shout out, start the show on the -1.5 line, cashing huge odds.
Wow.
And all the respect in the world.
So Richard West has been on Cincinnati recently, and he likes them again tonight?
Yes. But
that's not good.
But he just says, I might be on Cincy 2 here. Look at that. And then he says Atlanta getting swept. So I might be on Cincinnati 2. Kobe looks like a good spot. I really love when these pitchers do things like what Whistler's doing. And I think that he's a different person now. And obviously I have not looked at interviews. I'm just guessing, but I bet you he's a different person after almost having this dream taken away from him.
Kobe Valentine, 87% of the money on Atlanta since he has gone from dog to fave. My best bet today is Cincinnati for the sweep based on reverse line movement right there, Jim.
Yep.
Yes, that makes sense. I mean, look, like I said, Finnegan has had 2 bad starts. He's not that bad. He's a crafty lefty who is going to have decent starts at times. And Whistler, again, great first start. Second start probably will be significantly worse. So I understand that. It's just I'm getting sucked in by the line here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and I don't care about the public, and I also don't care about the market.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter if there's a line out for me. I'll cap these games and then follow the plan that I have, just capping the actual games.
Yeah,
and then the market comes in, and then it obviously I'll take you in different directions. Here, we just know the Braves are destroying lefties. They've already seen Finnegan.
Yeah. Wait, the Braves have already seen Finnegan this year?
I thought they had.
No. I think Finnegan made 2 starts against St. Louis, I believe. That's it. Just 2 starts against St. Louis.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But all right, yeah. Once again, I might pull that one. I understand Kobe Valentine's, reason for liking Cincinnati here. I'm just looking at this one. I have Atlanta rated as a significantly better team than Cincinnati, but I might pull that one in the 6:30 show as of right now. In the 6 o'clock show as of right now, I'm on Atlanta second half and Atlanta on the full game -1. Kobe Valentine liking Cincinnati and noting the alternative line move. It is true, a pretty significant market move in favor of Cincinnati. They opened around plus 105, plus 108. Now they're up as a favorite, -105, -108 market wide. So that is definitely worth noting. What else do you like here from MLB, Jim?
There's a bunch I like. So let me just go back to the earlier games here. I'm on the over in Zimmerman versus Tyon.
Okay.
It's a very low line, and I know Zimmerman's going to get touched. It doesn't matter. It's much better weather today. 58 Fahrenheit, winds blowing out over right center at 10 miles per hour. Tyon got touched. Pirates have lost 6 of 7. Their bats are not looking good. Tigers are playing well. They just lost Victor Martinez. Zimmerman had to start against the Pirates already. Allowed 4 runs, 6 hits, 6 innings, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. The weather was awful that day. In 5 career appearances, he had a 4.35 ERA. In 3 career starts at PNC Park, he's been pretty good, 3.32 ERA. The Tigers and Pirates, Tigers hitting 712 OPS, Pirates 722 OPS, very similar batting averages. I just think this line is so low, And I know this might be another trap. They're asking me to take the over, and I'm going to take it.
Okay, 7.5 minus 105 is the market line right here. That makes me a little bit nervous. I'm going to look into that one a little bit more, but that one starts before 6 o'clock, and so I won't be able to revisit that in the 6 o'clock show. Jim's taking the over 7.5 minus 105. Well, I did forget to do our BetMania plug. Let's do that right now.
Yes.
Once again, we are doing a promotion, a plug for BetMania in these shows. If you want to sign up with BetMania, sign up with the with the link in the description box below this video so that people know that you saw it on the Loshak and the Bag show. Otherwise, if we go to them and say, they saw it on our show, but they just didn't use that link, the higher ups will be like, bullshit, fuck you, get the fuck out of my office. You're trying to pull a fast one on us. We have no way of proving that you saw it from the Loshak and the Bag show. You know what I'm saying? And, Jim and I are just doing everything we can every day to avoid getting fired, and this will help us out. If you want to sign up with the BetMania, please click on that link. They're a very respectable, great book. They have reduced juice, right, on MLB and in the playoffs. 10-cent line in MLB, a dime line in MLB, and a bunch of other stuff that I'm forgetting about.
Happy hour in basketball is their
happy
big
hour
thing between 2 and 3 o'clock Eastern. They take a half point off any total, any side.
Yeah. So if you want to sign up with BetMania, please use the link in the description box. Otherwise, they won't know that you saw it in this show. And when we try to tell them that you did and just forgot to sign up with that link, they'll say, "Go fuck yourself. Get out of my office, you scumbags."
Q Wilson says, "Lowback, how do you attack interleague?" This is a perfect time to bring it up because the Pirates, they don't have enough bats to utilize a DH, and the Tigers want to have a DH. So how do you handle interleague? Do you attack it any differently?
What, interleague games?
Yeah.
Well, traditionally, the American League has had an advantage in interleague games, I believe. I forgot what the exact stats are, but no, I mostly just, obviously you want to see if the DH is or lack of a DH is giving either team an unusual advantage or disadvantage. But other than that, I don't really put too much into it. I handicap it like any other game. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
Check the lineups and this and that. All right, let's see what else do we have here going on. Let's see what else do we have here going on in MLB. Well, let's talk about Houston Angels, 2 o'clock game. Verlander, obviously awesome. Now, that's not going to last forever, but it might last a little bit longer, right, Jim?
He's just so confident.
Yeah.
He's in a controlled environment and all his home starts. He's loving life out there, and they're a great baseball team. So, obviously, he's not going to continue. What's he got this year? He's got a
it's ridiculous.
1.10 ERA, 0.77 WHIP, 39 Ks in 32 innings. Tropiano's looked good. Not as good in the second start as he did in the first start, but I expect him to be an okay pitcher. I expect him to stay in the rotation. In 3 starts against the Angels last season, Verlander was awesome. 2-1, 1.71 ERA. It's just I don't know where to get value in this game, and I'm not on it.
Yeah, my sense is probably the value is with the Angels. You know what I'm saying, Jim? You know what I'm saying, Jim?
Oh, definitely.
Probably the value is with the Angels. Like, what was that game? Recently? Oh, the Garrett Cole game, right? I wound up betting the Angels on that one, and only because I was like, that line is just too high. You know what I'm saying? And I think probably the value here is with the Angels again, not because Verlander is not as great as everyone thinks he is, just because, this is the friggin' Angels. They're not only an MLB team, they're not only a professional baseball team, they're a damn good one, and now you're giving them a 33% chance of winning a random baseball game. You know what I'm saying, Jim? It's just, I think the odds are a little bit too high there.
I agree.
And I am going to take the Angels on the second half. I know Ohtani isn't going to be around, but the Angels' second half line is plus 125, and let me just find if there's a better line here. Yeah, I'm going to take the Angels, LA Angels, second half, plus 125, and I'm making that an official pick, Jim.
Yeah, no, I can understand it.
Because as great as Verlander is, unless he's throwing a no-hitter, they're not going to throw him 8-9 innings. They'll throw him 5, 6, 7 innings.
You're right, absolutely right. There's no reason
All right,
to.
I'm taking the Angels on the second half there as an official play. Let's talk about the tough one that we've been avoiding, I guess. Washington against San Francisco. Scherzer against Samardzija. Scherzer obviously awesome. Samardzija's first start, not too bad. Had a few walks, but in general, not too bad. It was against the Angels, right? Or who was it?
I was impressed with it.
Yeah, he had a good start against a decent lineup, and now it's his second start, and he's a home dog here. I think I would be leaning San Francisco here. What do you think, Jim?
This is just a tough spot. Again, finding value. The only value I see here is taking the Giants. Brandon Belt homered 5 times last 7 games. Mac Williamson hitting these monster bombs. Very impressive. 3 homers in 5 games. The Giants have hit at least 1 home run in each of their last 7 games. More than half their runs this season being a product of home runs. So they're starting to hit a little bit. Scherzer just looks awesome. 1.36 ERA, 0.7 WHIP. But he's gone just 3-4 with a 4.17 ERA and 8 career starts against the Giants. 2-2 with 3.38 ERA and 4 starts in San Francisco. Smarja looked great. He impressed me. He looked better than I expected. Remember, he got lit up in that first rehab start in the minors. Nationals are hitting righties much better than lefties, but still not hitting well. And the Giants are soared. They're hitting with power, but no average. I don't know. I'm off this game at this point. I don't want to fade Scherzer, and I don't see another play to make.
2 important comments coming here. Paco Healy says, Pete, they'll just say, I am sorry. Inside joke. Guys who remember an inside joke. I love the guys who remember the inside jokes of this show. You know, remember that joke. You remember that? That inside joke was once I said that the inside joke was that I said that if someone says I'm sorry without taking meaningful action, what they're really saying is fuck you, go fuck yourself, and that's the inside joke that he's referring to. And then the second comment I want to highlight: Native Queen, L.A. Angels to score first despite Verlander starting.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice line.
Look at that call by Native Queen. Verlander against Tropiano, but Native Queen likes the Angels to score first. I wonder what that line is. I'm going to check right now. It's probably like plus 105 or something like that. Jimmy the Bag, while I check that line, why don't you discuss another game that you're liking?
Rogue Canary says, why don't you guys ever mention or factor in the team's bullpens? I guess he doesn't watch this show.
Yeah, are you kidding? All the time I do. Although it's just because it's a little bit like you don't exactly know who's going to be, I mean, we talk about bullpens that are doing well, but we, because we don't exactly know who's going to be coming in and stuff like that. It's just a little bit too in depth to it because we have to cover the whole card here.
But I've seen your bullpen spreadsheets.
Oh yeah. Here you go. Beauty. Here it is, Jim. Look at this. I'll tell you right now, my absolute last. Now I haven't updated this in a few days, but my bullpen rankings has the absolute worst bullpen, believe it or not, in MLB. KC Royals, second worst in MLB. Right behind them, Atlanta Braves.
Wow,
that's
the
of
Braves
right now.
bad.
That's of right now. Yes, and those two are significantly worse than the third worst, which is the Reds, who are significantly worse than the fourth worst, which is like a bunch of teams that are starting to jump. Yeah, so I'm not liking the Braves or Royals bullpens as of right now, and these bullpens are also notoriously inconsistent. Like predicting bullpen performance from month to month based on previous months is there's less predictive value with bullpens than any other aspect of MLB. I've definitely known that and read about that statistically. But I rank them, and absolutely we do talk about bullpens, and I love to talk about bullpens.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Another play I'm on is the over in Diamondbacks at Phillies. Hanging a very, very low line. 61 Fahrenheit, wind blowing out softly. Greinke's not looked that great this year. Low whip, but has allowed 5 home runs through 24 innings. He's always pitched well against the Phillies. 8-1, 2.48 ERA, 0.903 WHIP, 192 batting average against. Diamondbacks have a team ERA of 2.80. Greinke's the one who's not pitching that well. Arrieta gotten off to a great start in his Phillies career, and one of those situations like you think with Whistler, he just pitched amazingly. One hit the Pirates over 7 scoreless. Will he have a regression here? I like both of these offenses, and if you're going to hang a 7, I'm going to take it. Yeah,
I was looking at this game, and I did not look into this game too in depth, but at my first glance, I was thinking definitely I like the over here. Why would I not like the over here? Jim's going to take the over, and that's going to be 7 minus 111. That's the current line at Pinnacle. I'm thinking about going on this one. I might pull it back in the afternoon show, but that's my lean, and all right, I'll throw it on right now. I'm just worried that it'll be like a 3-2 type game, but I'm going to go on this one with you, Jim. Over 7 minus 111. I'm just going to lock in that number now. I very well might pull it at the end.
Tomore jumping with us says, I really like the over in Arizona, Philadelphia. Greinke isn't the same pitcher this year after missing spring training.
Yeah.
And I think Arrieta is in a letdown spot after his best start of the year.
In the meantime, I found those odds on the Angels to score first. I thought it was going to be plus money, but believe it or not, it's minus 109 for the Angels, despite Tropiano against Verlander. But if Native Queen says there's value there, there's value there. You know what I'm saying? There might be only a little, not necessarily a lot, but it's there. You know what I'm saying,
She was handing out gold yesterday.
Unbelievable.
No Dakota says, I'm on the Phillies run line. I'll take the much better bats with a nice plus 200. Take back nice value. And then Joe D says, Greinke just 4-6 with a 3.65 ERA and 14 road starts dating back to the start of last season.
All right. So any other games you want to get to, Jim? Because I would like to get to the NBA and NHL playoffs as soon as we can. Any other picks you want to get?
Yes, I'm on the Athletics tonight. I'm getting this great line because Kendall Graveman is being so terrible. Remember, he was the opening day starter. This is a team that believes in Graveman. They have experts watching him all the time, and they believe in this guy. 10.07 ERA, 1.88 WHIP. 4 losses are tied for the major league lead. Ranks last in the majors with 25 runs allowed. Second in American League with 35 hits allowed. He's allowed at least 4 runs while tossing 5 innings or fewer in each of his first 5 starts. A mark that matches the longest such streak by any Athletics pitcher at any point in the season since 1908. He's going to pitch better. And you know what? With Fister coming off the DL, who knows what you're going to get from him. And last start Graveman had was a little encouraging. You know, he allowed the 3-run homer by Jackie Bradley, but he retired 11 in a row at one point. I don't trust Fister. He's got me a few times. He may get me again, but the A's are hot. They're making my units look beautiful. They're putting money in my pocket, and I'm going to keep riding them.
The A's have made my units look a lot less ugly as well. I have not dug deep into this game, but my first thought, definitely I want to be on the A's one way or another here. It is an 8 o'clock game. I'm going to look into that one deeper and have my decision on it in the afternoon show. But Jim, you're going to jump on Oakland now? Money line, what do you want?
Money line.
Okay, money line. Best line right now, -101. -101 is at a few places. Pinnacle and a few other places. Betmania -102. Very nice. Betmania 102, Bookmaker Pinnacle -101, and Bet365 very scared of Oakland. See, this is why line shopping. I don't know if you're going to bet this one, Jim, but right now Bet365 -115 has the worst line by far of the Oakland lines. And actually, if you wanted to bet Texas, they would have the best line on Texas at -105. Line shopping.
Yeah, not applicable knows Fister has fisted Jimmy on several occasions. He got me bad last year a few times.
Yes.
So is there 6 plays that you have for me?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, for Jim, I have Philly over 7, Cleveland under 8, San Diego alternative run line, Atlanta money line, Pittsburgh over 7.5, and Oakland money line -101. Is that it for you, Jim?
Yes, I'm going over everything right now. I believe that is every play.
Okay, let me go over my plays, then we'll quickly scan the day games that we won't be able to get to in the 6 o'clock show, and then we'll move on to NBA and NHL playoffs. So much fun. I'm on the Angels second half +125. I'm on the under 8 Cleveland with Jimmy. I'm on Atlanta second half -125 and Atlanta -1. Kobe Valentine has pointed out very, very astutely that the public is all over Atlanta and a strong market move in favor of Cincinnati, which indicates that maybe Cincinnati is the play there. I'm on the Yankees second half -130, and I'm on the Philly over 7 -111 along with Jim. All right, let's just take a look quickly at the 5 afternoon games that won't have that we won't be able to discuss in the 6 o'clock show to make sure we got everything. Angels and Houston, once again, I'm on the Angels second half, and Native Queen, once again, liking the Angels to score first, despite the fact that it's a pitching matchup that strongly favors Houston. Native Queen points out that the Angels are now 12-0, scoring first in their 12 road games this year. Very, very interesting. And they got it done against Cole. Once again, this is Verlander. Didn't phase Native Queen against Cole, and she was right there. And here she's doing it again with Verlander starting. White Sox and Seattle, I guess we are both passing on that one. I would love to take Seattle here or Seattle on the second half, but the lines are just a little bit too high. San Diego, Colorado at 3 o'clock Eastern time. Jim's taking San Diego as usual on the alternative run line. And then Washington, San Francisco is going to be a pass for both of us. Detroit and Pittsburgh. Jim's on the over 7.5 -105. And that's about it, right, Jim?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Now let's move on to, I guess since it's just one game, let's quickly move to NHL. How about that, Jim?
Absolutely.
How about that? Game 7, Leafs and Bruins. How about that? How about that, Jimmy the Bag? What do you think here? Obviously, you'd want to be leaning Boston. Not so obviously would you want to be taking them at -165. I got to be thinking we're looking at unders here. I got to be thinking that at least we're looking at a first period under. What do you think, Jim?
Well, if we want to talk about value, I think that I'm going to pick the exact score of the game.
And you can, right? You want to, and where do you seeing that? At Bet365?
Yeah. Okay. But let's talk about it for a bit. I see a possibility to get a big score here, and I think I'm probably going to go with it.
I'm gonna try to guess what your predicted score is gonna be. Sure. I think you're gonna predict Bruins win 3-1.
I'm gonna take Bruins to win 3-2.
3-2. That was my other prediction. That was my other guess. Okay, go ahead, Jim.
But that when you said 3, I was like, oh my God, he's gonna nail it.
Yeah.
Bergeron, Marchand, and Pasternak being held scoreless last 2 games. There's talk that because Bergeron was so ineffective in Game 5, or missed Game 5, so ineffective in Game 6 that the upper body injury is still bothering him. But he's winning faceoffs, and when I see when there's an upper body injury in the the player's still winning faceoffs, I think that he's okay. So I can't exactly explain why. And the dichotomy between this trio is no points and is a combined minus 16 in the Bruins' 3 losses. It's very, very strange to see them completely disappear in some games and then dominate these other games. Anderson is just, he's stepping up. And I don't know if I trust him completely. I don't. But he's stepping up. Toronto teams are 2-0 since a Torontonian jumped the curb with his van and started killing people on a busy street in the middle of the day. And sports brings people together in times of despair, and it's dangerous. When people come together, they represent a city. Teams come together, represent a city. They're dangerous.
Sure.
And so it's dangerous going against these Leafs and going against the city of Toronto right now. But I just feel like next year is the Leafs' year. They're a young squad. They need a top 4 defenseman. Those are easier said than found. But so I'm going to take the Bruins on the exact score with 1 unit for a 3-2.
All right, so what are you getting there? You're going to bet 365?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what you're getting here. I'm going to check to see if Heritage has those. They usually have those, but let me see exact scores here. Not quite yet. No, they don't have that right now. I'm sure 5 Dimes has that. Let me just quickly check 5 Dimes. They might have that for you, Jimmy the Bag. Let me just tell me what you're getting there at the bet 365.
Not as good as I.
Well, because it's kind of like the most obvious.
Yeah.
What would you be expect? What would you be getting?
Well,
there,
because it was actually, to be honest with you, I in the morning really early I started thinking that might be goals. So I was thinking that maybe I was going to take 4-3 at plus 1,000. But I'm just going to take Bruins win 3-2 at plus 700 unless 5 Dimes can beat it.
3-2 at plus 700.
Yeah, it's not very.
What the hell were you expecting?
I was expecting
850, 900. What the fuck were you expecting, Jim?
850, 900.
850, 900. All right, let me see if there's a 5 Dimes usually has this exact. Let's see. Let me see. 5 Dimes usually has these. Let me see. No. I'm not seeing it. Sorry. I'm just scanning.
No
we're line shopping. These are the kinds of things that they don't hang at SBR odds. Okay, so you want to. All right. So what do you want?
I'm going to take Boston Bruins win 3-2 at plus 700.
Plus 700. That'll be a fat score there if you get that one. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. This is a little bit of a no-brainer. First period under, Jim. Now, this one could go over, but you're only laying minus 115. This is going to be a tight game, right? It's a game 7.
I would take the under, and I'm not going to double up.
Yeah.
I was seeing if I might be able to get a nice juicy score.
In the meantime, you know what we will do though? This game goes off. I'm going to take a look overall at all of the props that all the books are offering, and I'm going to try to find some interesting ones that might have some value in the afternoon, because there might be some. A lot of these books like Bovada and Bet Online and all these places love to throw on a ton of props here. I'm just going to take the first period under minus 115. Jim has taken Boston exact score 3-2 plus 700. I'm looking here at 5 Dimes. A lot of interesting shit. Let's see. Team to score first wins the game minus 260. Yeah, that they have on all of them. Let me see. Just scanning here. Yeah. I'm just looking at some of these. All right, I'll do my research on this later on. I won't take up airtime while we're doing that. All right, Jim has picked an exact score. I have taken Boston first period under minus 115, and you wouldn't have to push me too hard just to take Boston minus 165. You know what I'm saying?
I do have some hesitation, and that's why I went for a bigger score. Bergeron was just, missed one game and then is very ineffective in the next game. And Marchand is the heartbeat of this team, but Bergeron is so important to this team. So.
Whoa, Freestyle Fakiri says 2-2 in regulation, 11-1. Wow. That's not bad. I don't know where he's seeing that, but that looks really good. Rojo Flo says 4-3 Leafs in OT. Wow. Adam Bond says Bruins 3-2 at my book is plus 1375. No lie. Adam Bond, which book is that?
Yeah, Adam Bond, which
Line
book?
shopping, people.
Which
Line
book?
shopping. Jimmy the Bag, Line
know.
shopping. Yes, please let us know which book that would be. And if it's one of the books we use, we're going to switch right over to that one, Jimmy the Bag. Let me see. All right, some comments coming in. We're going to get to all the comments, okay? Muhammad Joma, motherfucker knows hockey, okay? Boston, all in caps 3 times, and I hate the Bruins, but they win. That's what I got to think as well. Luna Star 28, Bergeron very iffy, fell off Leafs game over and money line. You think Bergeron? Wait, what's your take on Bergeron right now? Is he okay?
as I said, like he's still winning faceoffs, so and it's an upper body injury.
Mm-hmm.
So my only thought is maybe it's ribs, because ribs you could still win faceoffs but not play very well.
Does he have a problem where they can shoot him up with a ton of drugs and he'll be okay for those 2 hours of the game?
And who knows if it's actually an upper body injury? They might be messing with us there as well. So Bergeron's a heart and soul guy. He's a great player.
Yeah.
So I expect him to step
Tom
up.
Marino says the key will be if Boston gets off to a good start. If Anderson starts strong, I think the game will go down to the wire. He's been on fire. I think the best play is just the first period under, minus 115, Jim. You know what I'm saying? If it loses, you lose just a little bit more than I think this is going to be 0-0 after the first period, you know? Let me see.
And it's over 1.5?
Yeah, 1.5, minus 115. Let's see some other comments coming in. Adam Bond, tell us what book you're using where you're seeing Bruins 3-2 plus 1375. Let's see. Other comments here. Tomino says Toronto is a young team. I don't trust them on the road in Game 7. I think Anderson will have to carry them. Let's see. What else do we have here? Nate Dog 420. I think Toronto has the more momentum and they're healthier. Donald Mao, if the Leafs are hoping to win, they need to play lockdown defense. I agree with that. And I also think that probably the full game under has a little bit of value as well. Let's see. Rojo Flow, 4-3 Leafs in OT. Other
Al
comments.
Mack, who works at the ACC, says, I think it's a concussion, Jimmy. That makes sense because he's still winning faceoffs, but he's not playing well. That's a great point, Al.
Luna Star 28, Toronto more finesse, Boston more physical. I'm taking Toronto. Let's see. Tom Marino says, I think if you like Toronto, a correlated parlay with the under makes sense. I can't see Toronto winning if Anderson isn't great.
And Andrew McKinnis coming in. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Of the Ice Guy says he likes Bruins team total over 3.5.
Over 3.5.
Yeah.
Really? Is it a 3.5? Because I guess it is because they're that big of a favorite. Yeah, that's right. Okay, he likes a team. Wow, 3. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you wanted to, if the game goes over, that probably means Boston wins, right?
Yes, and when you're well,
I'm not saying definitely, but probably.
I don't know. The Leafs are young enough not to get overwhelmed, not thinking this is like a last opportunity or anything like that. They could play loosey-goose as possible. Lunar Star says Leafs are a fast finesse team. Boston loves physical play, but aggressive teams are the way right now. Leafs, baby. Make the right choice, Jimmy. The thing is that if it's 3-1 with 2.5 minutes to go, we know exactly what's going to happen. It'll end up 5-1.
Yes, exactly. So I'm taking the first period under. Admit that the more I talk about that, Jim, the more you're thinking, that's a good play.
It's a really good play.
The more I'm talking about it, right, Jim?
I like the under. I don't think Toronto's going to come out and pop 2 in. I think that Boston could, with all of the energy in the building, come out and fire.
Okay, Mohammed Joma says Bruins in regulation is the play. Mohammed says don't get cute with totals. This could be 5-2 Boston or 3-0 Boston. And I like Andrew McKinnis' read on this one because, as you said, if Boston is not scoring a lot early, they could either explode offensively late or Toronto will just pull out the goalie super early and all of a sudden we'll see 2 goals late and they'll get a couple of gifts. So that's not too bad. I'm taking the first period under, and that's it. And Jim's taking Boston 3-2 plus 700.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we move on to NBA, Jim?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Andrew McGinnis, there you go. An opinion on my play. He says, I like it. Endorsed by Andrew McGinnis. And this is a guy who thinks that Boston's going to score 4 goals, liking the first period under. Very nice. Andrew McGinnis says, if the Bruins win this game, it will be high scoring. If the Leafs win, it'll be more like 3-2, 4-2 still. Game 7s have trended over. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you want to do a correlated parlay here, maybe Bruins with the over or Toronto with the under. I agree with Tomor. If you want to take it, if you want to get a little bit greedy, which is nothing wrong with, and you like Toronto here, maybe do a Toronto and under parlay. Or, at Heritage, for example, you can buy puck lines. If you like Toronto, take Toronto and parlay it with an under, but buy up to 6. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
I do. I certainly do.
A lot of shit you can do here. But let's move on to NBA. How about that, Jim?
Let's do it.
But quickly, Stephen Hamilton, Game 6 winners win 57% of Game 7s in the NHL. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's see. NBA. Let's go to NBA. What do we have here? We have 4 games going tonight. First game, Indiana, Cleveland. First 4 games in the series went under. I'm thinking now we finally see an over. Once again, we have Indiana getting big points. Got to be thinking Indiana has value getting the points. I be leaning over. I be leaning Indiana. I be leaning Indiana team total over. And that's my thoughts on that one.
Yeah, I agree. I agree on both, but they're just leans at this point. Unless, I'm curious to hear, what everybody has to say here on the chat. Here we go. Dan Kelly says, in the first 2 games of the series, the total at Cleveland closed at 212.5 and 213. Now tonight's total is 205.5.
Yeah.
You have to have respect for the line maker, and it's the over or lay off here.
I'm liking the over. I'm liking the first half over. I'm liking Indiana plus the points. I'm liking the Indiana team total over. I'm thinking about overs every which way. But then again, I've had a horrible record, even worse than the rest of the NBA, on Cleveland Cavaliers games this year. But this game finally goes over, I think.
Pacers had to come back from double-digit deficits in both games in the end. They have to start out fast.
Yeah.
They have to. And Oladipo's not played well since game 1. Not just 19 for 53 from the field. But the Pacers should remain confident. The Cavs' 2 wins were by a combined 7 points. Outside of James, no one's scoring. James has 32.5 points per game. No one else does. Love second on the team with 12 points. J.R. Smith third with 10 points. Love suffered an injury to his left thumb in game 1, and it's clearly affecting him. He's shooting just 17 for 47 in the series and 11 turnovers. He says he's starting to get the feeling back in his thumb. Cavs cannot count on George Hill in this series. Back spasms are bothering him. He's a broken player. I knew he couldn't be counted on when the games were important because he just gets hurt. And Calderon is not good enough. He's just not good enough. Now, the Cavs are 24-9 when he starts, which I can't believe. He scored 5 points in 19 minutes. I think Darren Collison will eat him up.
24-9 straight up. Not necessarily against the spread.
Yeah, straight up. But even then, I'm surprised. I think Calderon is just a very weak link on this team. Tomor says, I'm on Cleveland. I laid the 6.5 game 1. Cleveland played a lineup that had no chemistry. Hill hadn't played in 2 weeks. Game 2, LeBron went off. Other players had no rhythm. I think Cleveland has momentum. Ralph Portuando is on Cavs -6 and the under.
The under.
That's
I wonder
dangerous.
why. See, I'm thinking this is finally a game where we see an over. I feel like this has over written all over it. You do see this in the NBA and the NHL playoffs a lot. The first 3 or 4 games go a certain way with respect to totals, sometimes ways that you're expecting, sometimes ways you're not. Then in games like 5, 6, things can take a radical, turn as far as totals are concerned. And I'm going to time that one here. I'm going to make the over an official play. 205 -110 is the line at the Greek. Everyone else has 205.5. I'm going to take the over, and I think I'm going to throw on the first half over as well. Let me just see where that line is. It'll be 104 at bookmaker Jimmy the Bag, and I'm going to take that one as well. First half over, 104 -115. That's the line at bookmaker. Everyone else has 104.5 -105. I'm taking overs, Jim.
That's interesting. I think I need more time, and I need to keep working with this chat on this game. Antoine Seymour says Cavs first quarter, Pacers with the points, game under.
It does feel like just like it's a no-brainer play to just the Cavs. Maybe they win, but they can't be handing 6 points to anyone. I mean,
and you could get 6.5 right now.
Yeah, really? Ooh,
yeah.
Ooh, where's that? You're right. Look at that. Wow.
Marcus Cologne's on Pacers on the spread. Jeremy M says Pacers +6.5 and under. Another one. And then Robert Balla says over. Low-hanging fruit. Kobe says Calderon might be the worst defender in all of the NBA. I agree, and we've watched him in Toronto defend so awful. Now he can hit some clutch shots, but still, he's just a terrible defender. Tomer says Cleveland's young role players have been much better at home. This team beat Toronto twice at home. I think Cleveland won the must-win game 4. Now they can play without added pressure.
All right, you know what? I'm quintupling up on this bitch. I'm also going to take Indiana team total over first half and full game. I'm going to use the Pinnacle lines right now. First half over is 50 -115 at Pinnacle. Full game over is 99 -113 at Pinnacle. So I'm on the first half over, full game over. Indiana Pacers team total over first half and full game. 4 bets.
Wow.
Wow.
That's Molly Mall. He knows this. He knows his basketball very, very well. Indy +6.5.
Does feel like you just gotta. And Al Mack talking about Champions League. I love soccer. Wish I had more time to handicap it. You know what I'm saying, Jim? Let's move on to another game while I scan some comments here for interesting shit. Let me just pick up another game that I was thinking about and tell me your opinion. Excuse me. Washington, Toronto, obviously tied up at 2 games apiece. The home team team has covered every game so far in this series, but I'm thinking that this is now getting to be an intense series, and Washington plus 7.5 is probably the play. Not necessarily an outright win, but plus 7.5 got to be Washington, right? No?
They're a good team. The Wizards are better than the Bucks. I think the Wizards and the Wolves as 8 seeds are better than the 7 seeds in the playoffs. But I think the Raps come out firing. And so I'm not going to take the Raps full game, but I'm going to take them to come out firing. I am a little uncomfortable. The Wizards, Beal and Wall seem to kind of... Also, I mean, with Van Fleet's injury, we haven't been talking about the Van Fleet injury. It's hurt the Raptors. God, John Wall's such an idiot. He says, I feel like both teams protected home court. Now it's the best of 3. And then he says, somebody's going to have to win on the opponent's court to win. What an idiot. No, they don't, John. The Raptors can win all 4 games at home. You fucking idiot. The Raptors squandered an opportunity to win game 4. They led by 14 points in the third quarter. Score was tied 92 when Beal fouled out with 5 minutes left. Wizards are playing single coverage, and now we're back to Lowry playing 40 minutes a game. We're back to DeRozan ISOs, just like the last 5 years, which is what I thought the whole plan was, to get away from DeRozan ISOs nonstop. Wizards outscored the Raptors 66-47 in the second half. I want to take the Raptors early. I'm going to take the Raptors early. Gerald Martinez says Raps first quarter. That's going to be one of my plays. I'm going to take Raptors. And Twain Seymour says Raps first quarter. I'm going to take Raptors first quarter and Raptors first half. I'm doubling up on them.
All right,
early.
let me find the lines for you. We got a lot of interesting comments coming in. Let me find the lines, and then I want to look at these comments to see who agrees with what. And while I'm doing that, Jim, you think about how you want to preview OKC and the Minnesota game. All right, let me see. First quarter, you want the Raptors first quarter.
I do. I couldn't get it this morning. It just wasn't up on my book.
Sure about this? 2.5. 2.5 minus 115 at Intertops is the best line. We are line shopping. We are giving you the best line we can. You want first quarter minus 2.5?
I do.
First quarter minus 2.5 minus 115. That is the current line at Intertops. And let's see, Betmania, no fool. They're hanging 3 along with Pinnacle. Smart book, Betmania. Minus 2.5 minus 115. And the first half for Toronto. Let's see. Let's see if we can find you a 4.5. Let's see if we can find you a 4.5. Yeah. We can actually find you a 4. Interesting.
I like it.
So the market liking Toronto in the first quarter, not so much in the first half. 4 minus 110 at Bookmaker. Toronto first half minus 4 minus 110. Interesting shit there. Market leaning Toronto on the first quarter and then backing off on them for the first half, minus 4 minus 110. Let me look at some comments here. Let's see. People already. Brant Hunt saying it's a trap total, Pete. Be careful. They got it that low for a reason. I like the under. I mean, I think it's that low because the first 4 games all went under. So they have to start making an adjustment there and lowering it.
Brant knows his NBA very, very
Does he
well.
really?
Yeah, he's the guy I was saying was white hot in the NBA.
And he likes the under?
Yeah.
And I just quadrupled up on overs? Well, at least I got a joke out of it, right, Jim? Right, Jim? So I can put in our joke spreadsheet another 1 under joke wins for me. Wow. All right. We'll see how this turns out. I understand, Brant Hunt. This one doesn't necessarily feel like a trap because, of course, the total is going to go down if the first four games go super low scoring. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the reason it's getting lower. But Brant Hunt likes the under, and that I don't know about that. Yeah, Brant Hunt saying I don't know about this. We'll see, Brant Hunt.
My man Jamal says Raptors first half. Rockstar Raptors first half. Seriously, Raptors bench plays way better at home. Good boy. 407. I love Toronto tonight.
Nasty Nate says, Pete, my local shut me off. What's the best book to use for fast and easy payouts? You can find all that information at sportsbookreview.com. Sportsbookreview.com. All the information you could possibly want or need from all the sports books in the entire world. You know, you can find all the top-rated books there. A+, A minus, B+. All the ratings are there at sportsbookreview.com. Nasty Nate. The truth is that most of the books nowadays have good payout schemes put into place. So it's not so much about payouts. It's more about, the juice that they offer, how many of them, because some of them have, a ton of props. Some of them have fewer. Some have lower juice. Some of them cater to professional bettors or a bigger bet size. You know what I'm saying? And you can find all that information at sportsbookreview.com and also in the forum at sbrforum.com where everyone discusses this stuff ad nauseum in the sports books and industry subforum of SBR Forum. All right. There you go. There's your answer,
Love it.
nasty Nate. But as far as payouts are concerned, most of them are pretty good now. That used to be an issue 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Now it's mostly they mostly have their systems down pat. Yeah, a lot of stuff coming in here. Let me see. Other comments coming in. All right, let's move on, Jim. Let's move on to the OKC game.
Sure.
Obviously, Utah is up 3-0. I'm thinking OKC gets this one. Is OKC a play here, -3, Jim?
They might be, but I find them a very, very difficult team to trust.
Mm-hmm.
Rubio is outplaying Russell Westbrook.
Yes.
I'm sure. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud.
I mean, Utah's a better team, I would say.
Utah's a better team, and Westbrook is losing it.
Mm-hmm.
4 fouls before halftime,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a sign he's overly aggressive. He's worrying. Donovan Mitchell, 27.5 points per game, scored 110 points for the first 4 games, most by rookie since Michael Jordan, 1985. Carmelo Anthony's trash.
Mm-hmm.
6 for 26 from 3. If he's not shooting threes, what's he do? He does nothing. Jazz haven't lost 3 straight games since Gobert returned to the lineup mid-January. You think they're going to lose 3 straight now? Steven Adams, I thought he'd put up much more of a fight.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting destroyed by Gobert. Now, I know Gobert is a phenomenal player, but he's getting destroyed by Gobert. In 2 games in Salt Lake, Adams had a combined 17 points, 9 boards. Gobert had 34 points and 22 boards. You know, Jazz were just an okay team on the road, and the Thunder were just an okay team at home at 27-14. I'm not going to take the Thunder.
You're not?
No.
See, I think the spot favors them. You think that they might actually lose the series 4-1 at home?
Yes, I think they might lose the series 4-1 at home. I really now, I mean, obviously Westbrook is a heart and soul guy, and he comes up big in these big games, so I expect him to come out big. But so if I had to make a move, if I had to make a play, maybe I would lean to the Thunder, but I'm not going to put my money on this squad. I'm not going to watch Carmelo Anthony slowly stroll up the side of the wing and then hit these fucking bricks. Like, I would just drive me crazy. I would get really upset. I would get really upset if I put money on OKC. It's not fun. I want this to be a fun thing when we gamble, you know?
It's true. You made me laugh on that one, Jim. High five. You made me laugh, Jim. All right. Minnesota-Houston, a huge spread here. First 2 games in Houston went way under. Do we expect another under here? And do we expect, now that we're in game 4, maybe this game to be tighter? Or, I mean, the problem with Houston is that at any point they can come in and, chuck up 43s, hit 60% of those, and all of a sudden you got a 40-point blowout. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think that. Let's see. Tomar says, I think OKC wins here. Utah's a young team that probably will be complacent up 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if OKC changes the lineup first.
Mm-hmm.
Nate Dogg, 420. Out of Toronto, out of the 6, says Utah is the play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Brant Hunt says we bet on streaks, Pete, not against them.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Look, Brant. Nuke Suber. What about over 7.5? Is he talking about MLB? He's talking about MLB. Nuke Suber. We're talking about.
Oh yeah, he's talking about the Dodgers.
Okay.
Julius Edmondson says, I told you guys that the Wolves would give out last game, second half. God, I wish I listened. I had the first half. My God. Nice work, Julius.
Mm-hmm.
Nice work, Julius.
Antoine Seymour likes Houston third quarter.
Yeah, and that's that. I mean, they're the Wolves are in big trouble.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what's your take? Do you have a play on this one, Jim?
No. And so were you thinking of making a play on the total?
Well, no. I mean, I was thinking. I mean, obviously, the Houston. Chris Paul can slow things down. The first 2 games at home went under, right? Minnesota, a big overtrender at home. Their 2 games at home went over, and here we are back to Houston. Maybe we don't overthink it and take a shot with the under.
Frank Alexander says, yeah, I'm liking that Houston under. Is that right? What the line says? The line says that Pinnacle opened at 219.
Yeah, it opened at like 218.5. Now it's down to about 216.
Wow.
216.5.
Yeah, I think. Let's see what Dan say. In the first 2 games of the series. Oh, this is a Houston game.
Mm-hmm.
Houston closed at 215 and 216.5. Now tonight's total 219.
Mm-hmm.
Compare that to what is going on with Indy Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
All those games went way under.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. This is great. Tomar says, I think if OKC benches Melo and starts Patterson, they force Rubio to shoot, they can still win. But they can't win with Melo starting. That's a really interesting point. Really interesting point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I guess I like the under in the Jazz Thunder. I guess I think that is a nice play. I mean, if OKC starts lighting it up, that Rubio's going to slow down the pace.
Mm-hmm. I'm just Maxwell Smart 420. I hope all you Raptors bettors are right. I just have no faith in this team, even at the ACC.
Well, that's just the regular feeling in Toronto. Just everybody just and Max put that nicely. A lot of people, if you're on Facebook, shit like that, they say horrible things about this basketball team. It's awful. It's awful. So that Max put that very nicely. You know what? I'm gonna go down with the team here. I really think that they do it early, take care of business early. I just feel more confident on that than the full game. But I think they take care of business.
I hear you. Let me see. You know what? I am going to take Washington, but full game. You think that's a huge mistake or just a very small mistake?
No, I mean, obviously I didn't take the Raptors full game, so that was the sign.
I just feel like this one's gonna probably wind up pretty close. That's a lot of friggin' points. I know that that Washington is not necessarily a high character team, but they still have talent. You're still getting a good amount of points on the spread, and I'm gonna take it +7.5 -107 full game. Washington, +7.5 -107. I'm taking that one. That's the best line at the Pinnacle.
Can you believe that John Wall said somebody's gonna have to win on the opponent's court to win the series?
All right, look, I'm not.
Imagine if that was the guy leading your team. Then you had to sit down and explain how best of 7 works.
I say something that dumb every 15 minutes in this show, Jimmy.
You have never said anything that
never,
stupid.
Never.
If John Wall said that to me, I would open hand slap him in the face.
Would you? Then you get fucked up, Jimmy the Bag.
I would get fucked up.
Then you get fucked.
I would
Jimmy
still, but everybody watching would laugh.
I hear. Yes, definitely, and it would be worth the laugh. It would be worth the laugh.
It would
too.
be worth the laugh.
Absolutely, I've always been that way from day fucking one. Laughs over everything. All right, let's see what else do we have. Not applicable says.
Daryl Lyles keeps saying, "Is Westbrook playing? Westbrook might not play." I don't know where he got this information. Westbrook is.
Mally Mal, guy who has proven himself in the NBA, more so with totals though. He likes OKC to cover and the over tonight.
Interesting, yeah. I don't have a plan on any total at this point. I'm going to take more time and listen to everybody.
You know what? OKC on the money line. I don't necessarily know if I like them to win, but I think one way or another they're going to get it done, and I'm going to take OKC on the money line. OKC money line -163. That's the current line at Pinnacle. I'm doing that one as well, Jim. I'm not overthinking shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you. You come firing today.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Well, because I'm not overthinking shit, and you know why? Because I'm on medication, Jim, and I don't have the ability to overthink right now. But I'm happy about that, and I'm not overthinking shit. That's why I quadrupled up on the Cavs game. If I was overthinking shit, I wouldn't have done anything. I would have had no balls. Washington +7.5. I can understand the other side, but I'm not going to overthink it because I don't have the brain power right now to do it, and I'm taking them. OKC on the money line, -163. I'm taking them. Minnesota, Houston, I really don't know. It's just Houston scares me at home. I know the first 2 games went under, but this game could easily, if this was like a 224 or 223.5, I'd take the under, but at just 216 makes me nervous, and I'd be leaning Minnesota plus the points, Jim. Why are they getting so many points, and is that justified?
I mean, is it justified? That's a good question. I mean, if it's just one quarter, right? One quarter of this series, they've been absolutely destroyed. Has there been any movement on this line?
On which one?
On the Minnesota-Houston line.
On the Minnesota-Houston line.
More money going on Houston still.
You seeing that? I mean, I'm seeing it opened at 12, and I'm seeing a split line now, 12 and 12.5. So
yeah. Oh, mine says open at 11.5. But I hear you. Before the Rockets clinched the West, they were the most efficient. Among the most efficient offenses in the history of the league. Over those 6 regular season games, they became complacent. They started playing poorly. Their offensive ranking was 26th in the NBA, and that momentum carried over into the playoffs. In the third quarter, they scored the second most points in any quarter in NBA postseason history. I mean, I talked about it on Monday. There's no way that this Wolves team can go shot for shot with the Rockets. They did that in Game 3, and I said that's never going to happen again in this series. The scary part of the Wolves is that the Rockets just had an average game. They went 16 for 43 from 3. That's average.
Yeah. No, I mean, the Rockets are the better team. I'm just thinking this is a hell of a lot of points to be given here, Jim.
I don't like these double-digit plays. God, you know how sharp this fucking chat was yesterday?
Yeah.
A bunch of guys, Parlay Poppy, one of them, a bunch of guys were on the Heat first half. So many guys were on the Heat for half. They've done it all series long. Why not go on it? And then a bunch of guys were on the Sixers full game. And nobody was on the Sixers first half, and nobody was on the Heat full game.
Man, very, very nice.
There was maybe 1 or 2 on the Heat full game, but still, it was an exceptionally sharp group that we're dealing with, and they nailed that. They absolutely nailed that. I don't like taking double-digit points, and the Sixers barely covered last night. So, but Molly Mall says Rockets blow out the Wolves.
Yeah, and Tomorino says, I think Minnesota has no belief they can win. I love Tomorino's comments. They're concise, but they're like 2 sentences long, always chock full of great information. I think Minnesota has no belief they can win the series with Teague hurt and the blowout in the second half of Game 4. If Houston gets up big early, I think they fall apart. So Tomorino and Mally Mal both liking Houston despite the double-digit line.
Yeah, I get it. And Tomor, I think, just put money in my pocket because I put $300 on the Cubs, like you said, for me to do at minus 125.
And that jibes with what Antoine Seymour said, which is Houston on the third quarter. Minnesota might come in and give a fight in the first half, but if they realize they're done, and that will show up in the third quarter. That might be a great play. Houston third quarter. What do you think? That might be a great play there, Jim.
Yeah, but I would prefer doing it more holistically rather than locking it in right now. I would prefer watching and then making a play.
I'm going to see where the third quarter line is right now at Heritage. Right now, let me just find it. Houston, minus 3.5. Okay. Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, Jesus Cabrera coming in saying Cleveland in the over.
I'm on the over as well. Jesus Cabrera, we're going up against Brant Hunt, who's white hot in NBA. Brant Hunt also doesn't really like my pick on Washington. He says Toronto is used to choking a lot, but fuck, this is the Wizards. Not a very impressive team. The Toronto implosion will come later in the playoffs.
I couldn't believe it. Now, I mean, I think I overrated the Raptors bench, but I looked at that. I was taking a good look at this Wizards bench, and I was like, how are they doing this? How did they do this when Beal went down? Satoransky only played 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And he's the guy I really like on that bench.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that the Wizards are hanging in, and I don't think they will after tonight.
Yeah, I hear you, Jim. All right, I might be way up. Deion Davis, Rockets blowout. Mally Mal says OKC going to Game 7. Interesting. And I guess that's about it. We can wrap this up, Jim. How about that? Anything else you want to Josh Turnage says, Loshak, welcome back. Thank you so much, Josh Turnage. Anything else you want to mention before we Dan Kelly says lots of idiots playing professional sports at Jimmy the Bag. That is true. A lot of fucking full-on idiots playing these games that we bet on, Jim. Let's see. What else do we have? You have anything else you want to mention?
No, I'm comfortable with where I stand. So the only play I've made in the NBA so far is the first quarter Raptors, first half Raptors. And then the only play I did was picking the correct score. And I'm going to make that bet, but I'm not going to make my usual $20 bet. I'm going to make that bet with just $100 because I'm getting the big plus 700, and I don't feel like I need to risk a full unit there. But I like where I stand in those sports, and I felt really clear this morning capping baseball, and excited about my play.
Very nice. All right, let's just quickly go over everything in NBA. Jim has given Toronto first quarter minus 2.5, first half minus 4. I have given Washington plus 7.5. That is disagreed with by Brant Hunt. I also quadrupled up on overs in the Cavs game, which is also disagreed with by Brant Hunt. I took the full game over, the first half over, Indiana first half team total over, and Indiana full game team total over, and I took OKC money line minus 163, and that is about it. We got to wrap up right now. It's been an interesting show. We'll be back at 6 o'clock Eastern time. We'll look at the evening games in MLB, and of course we'll review the line movements on all these very, very interesting playoff games, and we'll get, I'm sure, a ton more awesome comments from the comment section as we do every single show. We love you. Thank you so much. We'll see you at 6 o'clock Eastern time.